I hear you.
All right, guys, I am here with Julie today, and we're kind of doing just a little Q&A. Julie's got some questions and different topics that we're going to talk about, and I'm really excited to have this conversation with you.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Jess. I appreciate it. And one thing I wanted to kind of talk to you about is, and it even goes along with what you posted this week on your Get Fit with Jess, and it's in the newsletter, and about transparency, vulnerability, and I guess for me, and I know that we've talked about this before, is that, one of the main motivations, unfortunately, for many of us when we join the group is because we don't feel good in our own skin, or there's shame or there's guilt with how we look or how we eat or how we have lack of exercise. And so we join up wanting to make a difference. But what I feel like I've experienced even sometimes is we join and then we start to see how everybody else is doing, and we start the comparison game. And then we almost have this, we continue to hold on to the guilt and the shame, and we don't allow ourselves to be vulnerable and talk about the issues that we personally are facing, feeling like we're the only ones still, even though we're in a community of women who are just like us. We still have that mindset. And how can we get past that to where we are vulnerable and we're transparent and within a group, and feel safe? And have you ever experienced that, and where you kind of are holding on to something when you should be discussing it or being open, how freeing that is? So I just kind of wanted to hit on that, because I really feel that that's like that hidden part of so many of us.
Right.
So
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I think, especially in our groups, the more you're there, the longer you're there, the more you're connecting and talking with other people in the group, the more comfortable you get. And I do think for some people, it's easier to kind of put that out there. And then for some, it's a lot harder. And that's okay. There's
yeah,
always going to be, a time and a place, and you have to kind of be ready to share those things. But then sometimes it's all about just making that step, you know. Um, but I do think that a lot of times, even though we probably know other people are struggling with that, we don't really want to admit it ourselves. And and for me personally, being the coach, being the trainer, uh I want to be transparent with you all, but then at the same time, I'm like, well, what are they going to think about me? Are they going to think, there's definitely that line that I sometimes struggle with crossing, because I do want to be so real with you guys and let you know that I'm human just like you, and I have these struggles just like you. But I also want to be motivating and inspiring, and all of those things. But as a group, I think that like I said, it can be real easy to kind of sit back in the shadows and kind of just take a back seat sometimes, and not really get to reap all the benefits, because there's a lot of benefits in sometimes just admitting things and talking about them. And sometimes that's what we need to move past that and push
yeah.
past that. So,
I definitely feel that when I have discussed, to be totally honest, instead of, even just simple fact of continue to track, even if it's a bad day, and post that and just say it's a bad day, just to know that others have experienced that and that they're doing that, instead of just, not necessarily even, okay, well, I'm tracking, but it turned out a bad day, so I'm not going to post it. Versus like this weekend with the way it was, it is good. Like you said, it's healthy not to track some days, and mental health and stuff. But yeah, there is that, but back what I was saying, I feel like I gain so much more even when I do take that little step to say, I'm really struggling with this, or it's been a really hard week. Because everyone is so willing to just jump in there and encourage and motivate you. I think there is room for transparency and motivation, because if there's such that fine line of, we're making it seem like, oh, everybody's doing everything so great and it's this Instagram perfect world, and then some people are terrified to be real. And and that's what I love about your program, is that you are so real, and that it is very approachable for anyone. And I just want to encourage people that, just from my experience, that being open and vulnerable and just letting it out there, it's so you can deal with it because it's out, so to speak.
Yeah, kind of going back to that. And, when I do these weekly check-ins, I will tell you 100% upfront, I had a really bad weekend, or I had a really bad week, or, it's maybe if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook and I get on my stories and just talk about, I totally blew it yesterday. And I think that's important. And, I really want people in the group to let me know everything. I want to hear the good, bad, everything. I want to hear if it was a good day, a bad day, or whatever. Because again, like you're talking about, I think there is a lot of power behind that. And it's really easy to, post all the good stuff. That's really easy to do. But it's not so easy to admit that, yesterday was a tough day emotionally, or you just were busy, crazy busy, whatever the case may be. But again, I think that admitting that, talking about that, and and that right there can be encouragement. It's not always has to be, again, all the good side to encourage you. Sometimes it's encouraging to see these other people, like you said, that are having these same issues, these same struggles. And here's the deal, we all do, whether we want to talk about it, or not. But I do, again, I think that there is a lot of power behind that. And I feel like that can help us move forward, because sometimes we kind of get stuck in that rut of that. And then we just kind of let that derail us completely.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree. So I want to reach out to Tiffany and Krista, who are joining us. Tiffany's like, what? Do you guys, what's your consensus about this as you're listening to this? What do you guys, sorry to put you on the spot. Feel free, if you don't want to answer, just totally pass. But what's your consensus?
I'm happy to unmute if you want to talk. Tiffany, you want to talk?
Does this resonate with you?
Hold on, let me get you. Okay, there she is.
Sorry, Tiffany, I just totally ended this on you.
Before it wouldn't have been, but now it is, because I'm getting a little more comfortable. So, but sometimes I get fearful, like I'm hesitant to respond to someone else's post on there. I do like it. I mean, it's encouraging when others post to mine or comment back. But I'm hesitant to post to others because I'm afraid that they'll just look at it like, okay, you don't know what you're talking about. Who are you? And, not that I would ever say anything bad, because who am I? But I just don't want them to be thinking that I'm nosy either. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah, I experienced that initially. I would see, either Jess was busy and I'm thinking, oh, I'll just say something on here. And then I talk to Jess and I'm like, but is that okay? Can I do that type of thing? And you just feel like they're going to be like, well, why are you saying something, or whatever. But I don't, I always loved it. Again, and I think that goes back to our own thinking versus what other people are actually seeing. They love the encouragement. so jump right in there. I think absolutely. I love it when other people, are there to help, so I think that's good.
Well, and that's, this community, we keep using that word, that phrase, but that's what this is. We're a community of women coming together, working together. And I just feel like the more people you have on your side, the better. And I don't think anyone would think that or feel that way. And that's what I told Julie. I said, no, come on in. This is what we're here for. This is what this is about. And Chris is saying, I love seeing everyone's posts, good and bad. Yes, I never actually had accountability like this before, and it's been a game changer. But seeing that other people have bad days too is super encouraging to know I'm not the only one. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes just seeing that bad day can be like, okay, I had a bad day too, but we're going to get right back on track together today. So there's definitely power in that.
Absolutely. And it goes back to then it gives me the courage, so to speak, for lack of a better term, to say I can still be consistent, because when you go back to what you always teach us about progress, not perfection, when we actually believe that, and then when we also believe that small changes over time will produce the results, that consistency, which allows for those bad days, because we get in this wrong mindset that I've had one bad day, or I've had two, or it's been let's face it, even the whole blooming year 2020 has been
Yeah.
And it's been so much harder this year for my focus, with so much going on that, but I think, okay, every day I'm just going to try my best today. This is all I can do, is control this. And, and we'll take it from there. And I believe I'm still going to be successful, and just continue that journey and not give up. That's probably been my biggest aha, and despite the bad days, I just need to keep going. And I love that vulnerability when others feel that too.
Yeah. And I talked to several of you guys last week about how I'm not worried about the one bad day. I'm not worried about the bad weekend, or maybe you even had a week where you were living it up on vacation. That is not going to make or break you, okay? What we were talking about, is that consistency, what we do the majority of the time. That's what matters. That's what truly matters. And, a lot of people in the groups have reached out to me just in the last couple of weeks or in the last couple of months saying, I can't imagine where I would be right now with everything going on and stress and emotions and all that if I wasn't here. And then I think a lot of people, have seen that you guys are still doing amazing, still reaching goals and seeing progress even through this time. So that's what I'm talking about. It's really that consistency the majority of the time.
Yeah. And I think too that being vulnerable helps to keep, and seeing the vulnerability or the honesty of the bad days keeps us from having that perfectionist mindset, and that I'm not like, okay, this girl's crushing it and she, got in a run plus the workout plus the, give me 5 and her macros are on point, and today I could barely not eat a candy bar. That was a success for me. So I am, oh, I'm just terrible. I'm a lousy person, and then we get into that kind of a mindset when I guarantee you there are so many other people looking and thinking the same thing, but yet we can all be successful, and, not with the comparison. And it just, that vulnerability allows me to feel like, okay, I don't have to be perfect. It's okay. I can lay that burden down,
right.
And that personally, to be vulnerable, that's a struggle with me. It always has been. I'm that individual, and I would bring a 95 home to my mom, and it was, well, why didn't you get 100%? You know, so it was, that was ingrained in me, and I'm trying to work through that and on all aspects of my life. But so it's freeing to me to see it. I'm like,
yes, yes, absolutely. And I do, you know, and I talk about this, how, you know, we don't need to compare our workouts to someone else's and our calorie burn to someone else's. And that's really easy to do, and that is hard to break from. But, you know, as I am working with you guys through session and hopefully, you know, back-to-back sessions and so on, I'm hoping, and again, this is something I struggle with myself. So I'm very competitive, almost too competitive. At sometimes it gets the best of me. But you know, really focusing on that why. You know, why am I even here? Why am I even doing this? It's not because of this person that I'm here and what they're doing and their workouts and what they're doing in their nutrition. Yeah, that's great. I'm happy for you. I'm here for me, and I'm focused on my workouts. And yeah, maybe we did the same exact workout and you burned 300 more calories than me, but I can't let that tell me that I didn't have a good workout. I have to say, okay, I gave it my all, and this little thing or whatever you're using to track your workouts, you know, you can't let that be the deciding factor. And I've said it over and over again that I think that these are great, and any type of tracker like that can be very motivating, but it's really all about what you're giving the power to. And if you're determining your workouts on this, then you probably need to get rid of it. But if you're able to, you know, be okay with what you did and know that you gave it your best. Same thing goes with your nutrition. If you look over your day and see where you fall on, you know, your log and feel good about that day, then that's what we need to celebrate. And again, you know, I always want to ask at least one time during the week, what was your win this week? And celebrating, like you said, Julie, celebrating every little win, whether it's big or small or whatever it may be, making sure we celebrate those, because I think that that can really help us stay focused and stay on track and really kind of evaluate our progress that way.
Absolutely. And just to share a win that I had, we're landscaping and we were laying rock, and it was 4 tons of rock that, you know, I'm shoveling in, helping my hubby shovel into we were cleaning up the hill and dumping it and spreading it. I mean, all afternoon in the heat of the sun, drinking tons of water, because I've been taught to drink tons of water now. And beyond that, I was not as winded. I had more energy and I had stamina, and I know it was literally all because of the workouts that we do, that I've been doing this. My body was more conditioned and I had more energy, and it was great, you know. And I'm thinking, those are the wins. That's the reason why for me now. You know, it used to be the pant size, it used to be how many inches lost, and now I'm like, it's because I feel so much better. And, you know, I have those other things are going to come just naturally if I'm focusing on just how much healthier. Because, you know, I've shared with you before, I went into menopause almost 8 years ago, and I don't take hormones or anything. And so literally my body thinks it's like 10 years older. And boy, it's legit. If you've not experienced it, just buckle up, Buttercup, get ready. It's legit. And not to be negative, but it changes things. And, you know, as our bodies age and change, if we have just that mindset that the only thing that's going to make us happy is a certain number, or on the scale, or on our watch, or how much, you know, then we're really setting ourselves up for a lot of anxiety and fear in the future, versus I'm doing this and I'm healthier now than I was even when, you know, I weighed less, because my body is stronger and I'm going to be able to withstand things like osteoporosis and muscle loss as I age so much better, you know, because of that. So my mindset has really changed, regarding that. And that's just a vulnerability that I've experienced, and how my body is just, it's sometimes there's one day I'm just going to have to give that up. It's just not going to happen like it used. And that's okay. That's okay. I just need to be healthy,
Yeah. Yeah. And,
So,
that's why I do like to always, touch base and ask for those non-scale victories. And still, a lot of times, a non-scale victory for someone, like you mentioned, maybe smaller pants, or maybe that their inches went down, or, it's still almost that losing. And not that that's bad, not that that is bad at all, but there is a point that we have to think outside of that box and think about, like what you said, that you're physically able to do things that you probably couldn't have done, or felt that good anyway doing them.
yeah.
And yeah, so I think that that's awesome, and that's, again, truly what it's about. And we have to look at those big pictures, the big whys, not just those smaller goals, which are good too. Those are good too. But
They
yeah,
absolutely are. They get you to get started. And, I guess I've just experienced that shift. I'm starting to, and it's taken a while, and that's okay. Again, staying with journey, that all comes. It's just a healthier mindset for me, I guess. And what's your recommendation? I know we've talked about a lot, wrapping up: transparency, vulnerability, consistency. I know those are big issues. Just a kind of a nice wrap up, Jess. I mean, what's the consensus you feel for the group? I don't even know if that's even a question.
Yeah, well, and I mean, a lot of just what we've already just talked about, how, we're all going to have bad days, myself included. I think it's really important that we talk about those with each other, and just encourage each other. If you see someone else that has had a bad day, and, as we've talked about, again, just sharing those can be encouraging to maybe someone who's sitting in the background. They're watching everybody, and then they see something like that pop up, and they're like, oh, okay, they're not perfect either. So yeah, knowing that none of us are perfect, and that most people, we're working together, we're trying to reach our goals, we're trying to work on that progress, but that it's not all just going to be all beautiful, and there's messy in there too, and that's okay. And that's what we're here for. We're here for each other, to be there, to lift each other up and say, it's okay, I'm right there with you. And I would just encourage everyone to, make sure that, don't be afraid. Do not be afraid to share those with us. Yeah. Sorry.
Definitely. No, I didn't have anything else. I think that's the beauty of it. And that's what I love is, that it is a safe place, and, not, I mean, just to be yourself. And that's made such a big difference for me. So thank you. And thank you so much for letting me come and talk and be a part of this. And thank you, Tiffany and Krista. Thank you so much for participating. I hope it was beneficial for you guys.
Yes, I do too. You guys are doing awesome. So proud of you. We are coming up. We're in week 6. So this is, I feel like, kind of almost that finish line over, the next couple of weeks in this session. And then we'll just start rocking and rolling right into another. I think you all are doing awesome. And I'm so proud of each of you. Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for joining. And if you're catching it on the replay, be sure to, put any of your comments, any of your thoughts, any of your questions in the comments, and we'll come back in and chat with you guys. But thank you, Julie, for being with me today, and I will talk to you all soon.
Bye.